Hey guys and gals, let's build and take a look at the Typewriter with Flowers by LEGO Creator. This is a 3-in-1 model. Set number 31169 contains 363 bricks, retails $429.99, and the set was provided by the LEGO Group for the review. Thank you, LEGO, and yes, you can tell by the excitement in my voice, I'm not really too excited about this one here. It's just a typewriter with flowers growing out of it. And in addition, we have stickers with the creator set, which is very rare indeed. So we have Once Upon a Time, Every Big Idea Starts Small, or To Rebuild or Not to Rebuild. That's the question here. We will rebuild this one eventually. Okay. Now I have to put at least one of those stickers on. I don't know if we have to put them all on because they're all marked as 1, 2, and 3. It's hard to say. And in addition, we have 3 paper bags that are numbered. That's not too bad. Now, I'm hoping this is a collaborative build, but I don't know if this is even going to be possible with this. We don't know. We just don't know yet. The only way to find out is to build it. So, let's begin with bag 1. Let's build it. I'm just dying to build this typewriter. Not. Hey, at least I'm just cutting it to you straight. I'm not lying to you. I'm just not interested in this build. Why did I accept it? You know, it's part of a lot that I received from LEGO, and sometimes they'll send me sets that I'm just not really fond of doing, but I have to do them. And I would probably have to say that this is probably the first creator set I have seen that does not have a brick separator in it. Let me check the back of the book here, because if it doesn't have one, ouch. Especially for a creator set. So something I'm not interested in may not even have that in there. And this one does not have a brick separator. Why did they send me that one there? The Typewriter with Flowers. All right. The no brick separator. This is probably late. So maybe the stickers are a brick separator. This is probably the budget model. We don't know. So that's what we're going to be doing. It doesn't look like it's a solo build. It looks like a solo build. You can tell where my mind's at today. And today is January 7th, 2025. So, yeah, I got a lot of things going on, and one of them being is getting all these reviews done. Got a couple of 4x12s. Oh, is that too bright for you? Yeah, I think it might be fun. I can't tell on the viewfinder. Let me just kind of tone that down there a little bit for you here. Okay, now I can see the outlines better. And I don't know, the typewriter is probably going to set me off here. And this is probably one of those sets that I could just be like, yeah, I really don't want to do it. Oh, I guess we can set it flat. My buddy was asking me, you know, is the land really hard? And I said, when you got deadlines, yes it is. Oh, never mind, because his schedule is just as busy as mine. And I said, yeah, I mean, if you're, you know, you got a lot of other things going on like I do. I said, it's kind of hard to juggle. Okay. And, I mean, so far is the build keeping my interest? Not really. Just because of the colors we're working with right now. It's just the typical black and white stuff. So I'm just about done, including this set here. I have 5 more sets that I have to build. Or no, 6 more sets, including this one. So I'm almost done with filming reviews. I just got to empty off the memory card. Okay. And that alone just takes so much time. and I cannot wait to get this stuff cut off my head. I got my appointment booked and scheduled, so my guy squeezed me in, which is pretty cool. So hopefully I can get that out of the way. It turns out good, so I can not have to worry about the hair. 2x4 black bricks, that's kind of rare. Yeah, a few of my buddies there losing their hair already. One of my friends he lost his hair back and when he was in his late teens, and I thought, man, and here I'm complaining about having too much of it. It's all over my arms and all that stuff. Yeah, so I'm not interested in typewriters. The last time I really used a typewriter was back when I was in grade school. And I thought that was the most coolest thing because word processors were expensive, let alone a computer. Desktop publishing, you know. Guys and gals, I remember when Windows 1.0 came out, I thought that was the most coolest thing, but when 2.0 came out and they had the mouse that you can move the cursor on the screen, I thought, wow, this is really cool. Now we all take that old tech for granted. And yeah, so typewriters are just kind of a dinosaur now. A lot of kids would look at them going, well, what do I do? It's the same thing as a computer, except you got to press a little more firmer on the keys. And we're talking mechanical typewriters. I've used that and modern typewriters. Some typewriters will let you edit. The one I was taught on did not. And if you had to make a mistake, or I mean, if you made a mistake, guess what you had to do? Whiteout, that liquid stuff. And sometimes, even to this day, I'll have a potential employee will come in and they'll submit their resume on a typewriter. Very seldom, I'm like, did you type this out on a typewriter? Yeah. You can tell with the whiteout. And you're kind of thinking, I don't know. I don't know, because that tells me sometimes that somebody doesn't want to learn the computer. Put that on there. And I'm like, ouch, you may not be able to get a job as easy if you're using typewriters still. If I need a document done and I need it done now, a typewriter's not going to help you out. But back in the old days, that was the cool thing. So they started coming out with word processors. I mean, now everybody has a word processor on their computer at least, aka Notepad or something, or a text editor now. I mean, so this thing just slides back and forth like a real typewriter. And just about done with bag one. This was one of the sets though that I got. I was like, okay, Lego Creator has gotten to this point where I just don't care much for it. And I'm probably next year not even going to ask for Creator sets anymore. Watch I do, and they bring out the really good models. City sets I may still grab because the vehicles are pretty cool. Some of the stuff like the campers makes it worth it because I like the camping stuff. But I don't know really. Oh, I made a mistake. These round pieces are supposed to go in the front here. Yeah, today they were talking on the news about LA's getting these wildfires again, and I thought, wow, out here it's sunny and nothing's going on. It's clear as a bell. I don't know. It's in the 70s. Like I said, our winter's over now. Now we're hitting in the spring already. So everybody else is getting hit with storms. Oh wow, a 1x12 brick in black. How often do we see those? So, okay, so right now the score on this set is still at a 10. The build quality seems pretty good for what it is. Except I put those, I forgot to put a piece underneath that. Whoops. Well, maybe I'll drop it down to a 9.5. The parts are big, but there's no brick separator for a creator set. I find that kind of odd. Now, I might be in another bag right now. So I got to keep a note of that, because usually they put that in the first bag. But if you don't see it in the first bag, then most chances are they don't. Okay, I don't think I really have a lot of those in pink. So if I don't see a brick separator, I have to drop the score down on this one, because it is a creator. If I have to rustle one up, because let's say this is your very first set you're buying here, and you don't have that brick separator, you are going to be in deep doo-doo. So, and at least this one here has got medium to big pieces. Alright, and the palisade bricks. So what I've been doing is I've been putting these in totes. So whenever we want to rebuild these later on, we can, because I am going to do alternative models after I get done with the main review lot. So once I get all the main reviews done, then I will focus on that thing. And we have nose cones. You know why? Because I didn't put those in there until the very last step. And that's what we have remaining for bag one, with absolutely no spare pieces remaining. And that's essentially what we have so far, is something that does that. It doesn't look like a typewriter. Okay, bag two. Let's see here. Well, at least we get a good assortment of pink. I've never even seen a pink typewriter before. I've only seen them in white, tan, ivory, black, gray. I think one time I saw an avocado green and I dropped that in there. I shouldn't have dropped that in there with the rest of the parts. But never a pink one. Maybe it's a really faded red. So it looks like we're getting ready to do the keys. And the keys are not numbered or labeled in any way. So that's the thing. Now, is this going to be modular? We don't know. So I'm hoping it's going to be. That's good for a base for a vehicle chassis. And the whole intent of this style of review is to see how well the build goes. Is this something that we're interested in? For me, no. I'm not interested. You might be interested. So that's the thing that's important when you're watching these. Is you, the viewer, hey, I like that old vintage stuff. I like vintage stuff too, but typewriters, I'm not a typewriter restorer, so I don't mess with them. I may have one in my thing, but it's electronic typewriter, but I don't keep typewriters around the house. I got modern computers now that do that. Okay. We're going to need to sort out some of these tiles here. And skip a stud here. I know my hands are in the way, but don't worry, I'll bring it up and show it to you closely. And I'm hoping to finish this one up quickly, because I got some reviews that I'm editing right now. And I really just, tired of doing reviews. Somebody asked me again, when am I going to get into the tutorials? When this is done, this is the main obligation. At least Lego is, after I do the reviews, they're furnishing me parts. But with this one, I am going to be doing we're going to do the alternative builds on it. So what I'm going to do is package the set when I'm done. and it will just sit inside of a shoebox. I already got the other ones in shoe boxes. And the whole intent is to keep all the parts together with the building guides, and then we'll just pick one of them and start on it. I'll have the sets disassembled. I don't think there's anything under there. No, there's not. I'll already have the sets disassembled, and then we'll start from there. So it'd be better that way than anything else. Well, at least this one's got some color in it, and so far that's what we've done. So it's offset a little bit for the keys. And then we got to take a bunch of these little tiles and start sticking them on here. I was thinking, how are they putting all those keys on there? Now, obviously, these are not printed. If these were printed, it would have been awesome. Man, this would have been a killer set. Just a nice display piece. But this is not even practical for typing, especially for little fingers. Maybe a little child could probably use this, but it'd just be more of a novelty item than anything else. Okay, my stomach is growling, and I had breakfast. You know. Okay. Let me put the next one on there, which there's 11 now. So today, that's my goal, is to finish up review after review after review. Once I get the reviews done, I am ready to go. And then I got to find some satin finished paint. See if I can find some that I could use to paint a ceiling in my house. Kind of keep the glare off of them. I mean, right now the ceilings in here are all painted with the high gloss stuff, and we don't need all that. There we go. Something that's easily washable. Okay, so now we finish it up with 12 of these. It looks pretty much like a typewriter. I just remember though, when you had to do that, the typewriter that I had when I was a kid, when you got to the end, you actually had to slide the thing back. There'd be a bell, slide it back, bring it down to the next row, and then you had to type. And hey, it was the one back then. It was convenient because you had instant printing of your work. You know, not like today where you type it out, but you could see a preview before you print it. And there's the keyboard. Okay. Just be careful, you can't press this down all the way, so we're going to have to hold it while we're attaching these pieces. You can't just do it like that. Maybe you could, but don't want to risk it. Alright, so this fits in here. That's kind of crooked, huh? I think that just sits in there. Yeah. Like that. Okay, obviously this is not going to be modular. So I think this is just a regular old school 3-in-1. You stick these pins in here like that. Keep the keyboard in place. Maybe it's meant to come up a bit. We don't know. We'll find out eventually what that does. Alright, now we're doing the front piece. Hey, at least now we're doing some pink colors. And I don't think I even have any 2x4 tiles in pink, so that would be better there. I could use those for making stuff with pink parts to make the guys go googly-eyed over the builds, huh? They like that stuff. I gotta have fun in these. I got my crude, boring sense of humor. But I gotta have fun with these. Oh, these come in that color too. Cool. These would still be good for making beds. Then you got the regular ones. You can see the difference. One's, oh no, this is well, that's the right one. Never mind. Ignore what I said. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. I got this stupid hair flying in my face, but just think in a few days you're gone. And it'll be mostly just, well, the top won't be a buzz cut, but the sides will be gone. So I'm tired of hair poking me in the ears too. They're saying that the flippy hair is starting to come back, and I'm like, I'm not growing flippy hair. My girlfriend wants it, but I thought, no, I'm not taking care of that. Okay. Okay, now we got to make 2 of these now. But I got to go check on something. Okay, I'm back. Covered in dust and whatever that was. All right. And now, okay, we got to build 2 of these. But chores never end around here, I tell you. That's all it is chores. And alright, flip it over. Okay. I wish they'd make this without this plate on the back, but sometimes, you know, you just have to deal with it here. And yeah, I mean, this is not a bad project. It's, at least we're doing something with colors. But for me personally, this is one of those sets that I could live without. Literally, you know, I don't need it. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, one thing I do is I just hate going and getting a haircut though. Kind of like anxiety issues, like trying to tell the guy what I want and then hoping he does it. You know, most part he does. I tell him to do something, he'll do it, but it's like there's that chance that I'm stuck with a boo-boo or a mistake and thinking, oh, I'm gonna have to live with this for a while. So I don't know. Okay, so these go like this. Now this is not going in very well. Let's take the bottom might be easier to look at. Yeah, that wraps around. That's kind of seamless. So it'd just be easier to show the bottom, and nothing's gonna fall apart. Or you would have heard me getting raging at it by now. There we go. Like that. So, not as loud as a normal typewriter. Where's the bell at, Lego? I was expecting that much. Where I can hear it go ding when we're done. No ding. Ding, 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 ding. Oh. Remember those Mario sets I was doing? Boing, 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 ding, 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 ding. You know, some people took that very seriously. Why didn't I just spend the money on the things? Because I wasn't interested. We always talk about the Mario sets, thinking, why don't they ever bring out Mario minifigures? Would have been nice. Well, that never happened. And then now it's 2 of these here. So right now it just looks like a normal typewriter. We haven't done anything else with it yet. So it doesn't look like anything with flowers out of it. So it might be, those could be an option. We're going to build the whole model in its entirety. Now something like this, do I need to put a close-up on this? Honestly, okay. Honestly, no. Because I could just bring it up close. And it's just one of those projects where I think that's how it goes in. Inside the little tube here. But yeah. Now I got my mechanical keyboard. Those things are loud, but if you really want to experience loudness, get yourself a typewriter. Yeah, I thought there'd be more to it than this, but And why they attach the keys in there, I don't know. Maybe a different... Whereas it meant when you press on it, it does this, where it looks like it's moving. All right. Okay, I forgot to put the arch back in here. Yeah. But when I was in grade school, we didn't have typing classes. Even when my nephew was in school, they weren't really teaching the kids how to type until high school. And I thought, why don't you teach these kids how to type when they're like in first or second grade? You know? And I don't get it. But the one thing they wanted to teach the kids, though, is to handwrite a research paper still. And I'm kind of like, okay, I'm going to hold it like the way they're doing it here. You think they'd be all the way to the edges. Be careful with the keyboard. They're supposed to be like that. But for me personally, oh, wait a minute. Hold the phone. I made a mistake. I caught myself. Put one of these on here like this and then stick it in there. Okay. But I'm like, you need to teach the kids how to type and use a computer. You know, when my nephew was in high school, they never taught the kids how to use Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Those are the programs we usually use in college. And one of my buddies, who is a college professor, he tells me the kids from high school, when they go into college, they're lost. He goes, now with the stupid homework law, they're not going to be used to it. I said, yep. I said, wait till they get to be, if they want to be business owners, you're going to have homework all the time. Even if you work for somebody else, you still got to do your taxes and pay bills. That's homework. You know, I agreed with them too. But that's how it is. I mean, teach these kids how to type and use the computer, be more efficient. Tell them that the computer is a tool, not just for playing Fortnite and stuff. You know, I use my computer for all sorts of stuff. And that's what we have remaining for bag 2. All right, finally we're going to wrap up the build with bag 3. And so far the build is keeping my interest, and I don't see a brick separator in here, so I'm going to say it's probably 9.5. Sticker I think we can survive. And we're right back now. Well, we got some color in here. Ooh, that's a nice, that dark azure. And I'm just going to dump them all in one pile. Don't you dare. But speaking of kids learning the computer, they also need to learn that the smartphone is also a tool. In schools out here, they want to ban smartphones. I mean, literally ban them. With everything going on, no, that phone is a necessity. When I was in high school, it was a luxury. Because we had pay phones if we needed to make a phone call. You just better hope you had the quarters. But now we do not have pay phones. So now the phone is more of a necessity than anything else. But yeah, I don't want to get into all that though. It involves political talk, but that phone is a tool. Teach the kids that it could be used for academic use. Because sometimes I need to look something up. I have my phone right there. That doesn't go there. Okay, let's start setting up parts. There's about 3 different types of pieces, and I'm going to get confused here. And most people don't get this. If you buy a cell phone for your kid and they are using it for academic use, like even as simple as a voice recorder, you can write that phone off for educational purposes. Most don't get that. You buy your kids a little calculator, doesn't matter if it's a $5 one, you could write it off. It's tax season, you know. You can write that stuff off. I remember when I was in college, and one of our professors, you can go out and buy, you need to buy this certain calculator, which was a TI 8300. He goes, you buy that, save your receipt and write it off for taxes. And I remember some students asked them why. He goes, well, because you don't have to, he goes, you can get some money back. It's strictly for educational use. And I still have my TI 8300 to this day. But now I have advanced to a TI 89, which had the CAS, or a computer algebra system. And then after that, I got me a TI 92, which is like a TI 89 just with a keyboard. And then after that, I bought me a Voyage 200, which was faster and had more RAM, and you could do a little bit more things on a Voyage 200, which was a TI calculator. It was basically a TI 89 on steroids with the full keypad. It was a little smaller, and the schools kind of frowned upon those, but I still use my my Voyage 200 every day. I use it either as a basic calculator, or I use it as something if I'm doing something for computer programming. So instead of using MATLAB or Maple, which are math programs, I just put it on the calculator, and it would be easy. I could just lay on the couch and just have a whiteboard beside me while I'm working on something, and then just kind of tinker with it instead of have to sit in front of the computer. You know, write up a quick algorithm or a math formula and just start going from there. I'm a nerd, but that's what I am. And that fits in there, so this is, I guess that's the shift gears, huh? And yeah, so that's pretty much, you know, the TI thing that I have. I think I may have a TI 81. I think I had one. It was not as advanced. Okay, it just sits on here. Okay, this is supposed to be in the middle here. And this sits here. Now, oh, it does slide. Okay. I was making sure. Yeah, just make sure that's sitting in the middle there. You should be fine. And yeah, you could, I remember one time I was taking notes and I forgot my laptop. So I just whipped out my Voyage 200 and just typed on that little keyboard. It's a QWERTY keyboard. And schools frown upon those. The professor went to me, you're taking notes on that? How? It doesn't look like a computer. I said, it's got a keyboard and had a notepad. And said I just drop it in there. Him and the other students were mesmerized by that. I thought, you guys had never seen one of these before? But a Voyage 200 back in the 90s or early 2000s was $200. It was pricey. I think it sits in here. I think that's where it goes. So, now the professors have something, and the teachers have something worse to worry about. AI, especially ChatGPT. I played around with ChatGPT. It's fun to ask it questions, but it's nothing more than just a toy at this moment. But I don't depend on it to write anything. I've had some guys where they'll come in and Does that even fit in there? Okay, it does. But I've had some guys where they'll submit their resumes to me. Yeah, it does. It works. And you could tell it was written with with artificial intelligence. And I'll spot that, and I'm thinking, okay, we have a problem with your resume. You know, back in the day, people used a resume book. I was one of those. You've been doing this stuff as long as you have, and yeah. Okay, so you can change these. So what you're going to have to do here is you're going to put all 3 stickers on nails. So this will be part of that. So 1, 2, and 3. We'll put Once Upon a Time in here, but the other stickers will be on here. And yes, it's I'm trying to get this thing on as straight as I can. That's the best I can get it on there. Well, it's in Times New Roman, but the typewriters I used were Courier. So if you want to, you can change these. I remember one time somebody wrote up their resume, and what was it, sans serif or something like that? Hard to read. I don't know what it was. It was cursive writing. And yeah, I've had resumes handed to me from potential employers that are handwritten. When I see a handwritten resume, I question, because do they know how to use the computer? And that's it. So we got all our stickers on now. And yeah, I've had that happen a few times. So this just sits in here. Well, I'm trying to get it in there. It just sits in there. Like that. So that little thing in there would... I guess so, huh? Alright. Now we got to start planting the flowers. So you could leave it like this. This would be fun, but I think that's what these are for in here, is for flowers. Alright. And... yeah, but I've had people submit resumes going, oh, I'll just put these. I'll just submit him a resume handwritten. I'm definitely going to get the job. Oh, I've never seen telescope pieces in bright green before. But no, I've had it happen, and I'm like, I'll just be like, no. I'll get a handwritten resume. It's written in cursive. You know, not even print, it's cursive. And then I question, thinking, does this person know how to use the computer? And most chances is no. Stick that flower in there. Okay, well this is starting to come apart. Be careful with these. There's your flowers, and it sticks right in here. I mean, how many people plant flowers in their typewriters? That's what we're going to do with the guys who bring the typewriters to work. We'll just put flowers in them, thinking, oh, I thought it was a vase. Okay, now we're doing another one here. But I got to go check on some stuff. Okay, back. All right, so yeah, we're starting with that. All right. Yeah, but I'm trying to just get a bunch of chores done around the house before I have to go back to work. I got like 5.5 weeks left. And, you know, vacation time always goes slow. And honestly, though, I'm starting to get a little bored. And... it's, you know, I hate when I make a suggestion to do something. It's like, you guys want to go out and do something? I'm bored. No, I'd rather sit at home. And you're like, lame. like lame-a-roo. So they're using this to go down inside that little tube inside the stud. And these are pretty strong. I mean, they're going to fall apart, but not as bad as we think. Now, I forgot to read the disclaimers. These are not to be construed as professional product reviews. I'm a hobbyist. I do this for fun. So I may just end up having fun. I may make mistakes. At the end of the day, though, this is all meant to be just Lego building for fun. And yeah, some people will take this very seriously. I thought this was going to be a quickie today. I thought wrong. There was a friend set that I wanted to do, and I thought, I'm not in the mood to do close-up shots today. And I should have. And then this one goes in here. Not too bad, huh? Alright, now we got to do some green stuff here. So this thing is probably an abandoned typewriter we found in the field somewhere. So setting this project up is just going to be sitting it down and being done with it. Does that go there? Yeah. So now, I mean, at least now we got some color into this. It's not, this is not dingy. And I don't think I have any of these in flame yellowish orange. I'd say this is more of a botanical set than anything else. It's just some type of random flowers. I don't know the name of some of these, if they even have a name. But if you're looking for something with a pop of color, here you go. Okay, there we go. And then this goes here. Sure should look like that. And then this gets set right in here, right on that right there. Sorry if my hands are in the way, but I have to see how it goes on there. Trying to do that in the viewfinder on a video camera is kind of brutal. And that is just not going in, is it? I got hair poking at me right in the face right now in the eye. There we go. So that's how yours is supposed to look. And I have mine facing the same way. Cool. Okay, and then now we focus right in this corner here. Let's put these two studs in first. Looks like that's where they go. So it's an abandoned typewriter. Okay, well it'd be easier if I put this on first right there and then stick this on there like that. And then we shove this in here. Locks all that together. Now we're building some kind of a blue flower. I'll try to index these the best I can. I'm not going to guarantee I'll get it right, but like I'll look it up on the Lego website, see what they are. And then we'll start from there. All right. I got to build 4 of these leaf pieces. So yeah, if you're looking for something to kill some time, this is a good time waster project. A good decoration, but obviously not city worthy by any means. I mean, it's not like I can drop this in my city unless you're using it like as a fun park or something. Trying to sort some of these out now so I can get it going here. Alright, so after those four, we take the inverted ones and put them on the bottom along with this. So we'll start with, and it shows it like that, like it's crooked. So I'm just going to copy what they're doing here. Now this is going to get a little redundant because I'm trying to find parts and do this, but at least it's a nice soothing blue. Unless you just don't like the blue color. But I mean honestly it's okay for what the set is. But for me personally, would I run out and buy this? Probably not. But somebody who's into writing, possibly. I'm not. I'm a computer programmer, so even, I mean, if I saw a computer with flowers growing out of it, I'd probably walk right past it because I think it was just long since been abandoned, probably an old 386. So at that point, that would be a restoration project there for retro gaming. And then now we got to wrap the top parts up here with the studs. So there's a stud that goes on the other side here. And then now we're doing this. And yeah, but this channel here is picking up more than my main. It's kind of sad, but I mean, that's how it is. And I've really toying around the idea of just not doing as many tutorials, or just keeps, like, let's say I have reviews, just put a review on Friday and then the tutorial will just be a YouTube membership exclusive. I don't know. Or a channel membership. My bad. Okay, now these go in here with this part sticking up. That's not too bad. I survived. I mean, it's okay to leave these a little messy too. Oh, where are you going? Don't be surfing off. If anybody's going to be surfing, it's going to be me. And then I think that's supposed to go all the way down in there, but this is starting to back through. I wish they would have gave us a brick separator with this. And yeah, it has to be upside down. I don't think it matters because this goes on next. Just hold down here like that and just push that in. Alright. I think it goes on there. That's exactly where it goes, but we still have pieces left here. Did I forget something? Alright, I think I forgot something because I have these. Okay, it could go anywhere, but let's set this in here now. I mean, obviously we didn't have anything fall apart. Let's see here. And you know what I think that know where that goes on that paper. If I can find it. Did I skip one? Okay, indeed I did skip a step. Alright, so this here is not supposed to sit in. That goes there. And the reason why I don't edit these out, because people make mistakes. I'm not bashful. I'll show my mistakes. I'll man up to it. I own my mistakes. So just snap that inside there in that little thing. So, well, oh, it just sits in there. Okay, so it just kind of locks in place. And there you go. And then that's what it is. And this is what I have remaining for bag 3. And we have the extra 2 things. And yeah, it looks just like the picture in a way. All right, now we're going to start setting up. I think what I'm going to do is put this on a turntable just because it's here. And yeah. I'm just trying to center this up. When am I going to have those cleats in here? I don't know. I have been so busy with reviews, I haven't had time. And essentially, that's the typewriter right there. And I don't know. I mean, do I really need to do a close-up on this? I mean, the close-up would just be no more than maybe 30 seconds. I could do it as B-roll, I guess. What is B-roll? I learned that myself by reading up on it. Basically, I just keep the video going and just insert a close-up shot of it. But for something like this, probably not so much. Let's go down a little bit more here. Because, see, all I have to do is just bring, let's make sure we're centered here. And we're not, because that's leveled. And there we go. Because what I can do is I can just bring the model up like this and just show it. This ring light is not that powerful. They have some that go really bright, but those are the more expensive ones. And I thought, well, I don't need something that elaborate on here yet. Focus. But I think personally, though, whoever gets this, if you're into this, this would be perfect. And that's it for setting up. And then we'll just do the 360 spin tour right here. And I really do need to grease this thing, take it apart. And yeah, so we'll keep these out here. We'll read all this off to the audience. At least this one here. These are both in Times New Roman. This looks more like Sam Serif, our Comic Sam's. Trying to hold that yawn in. But that's it for the typewriter. And, you know, honestly, it's just a display piece. Well, let's go ahead. We're going to do the formal tour and review, and I'm just going to tack it onto this one. Here is the typewriter with flowers all assembled. And honestly, it's a nice, bright, colorful build. It's very interesting. And off to the left here, we got some alternative text. This one here says, once upon a time. This one says, every big idea starts small. That's very true. That's how my big mocks start. And to rebuild or not to rebuild? Well, we definitely will be covering the alternative models on my second channel at a later date. And this is essentially what this is. There's a typewriter that's pink with flowers growing out of it. So there's your whole 360 spin tour. And sometimes, you know, I'm just too lazy to do a close-up, so we'll do it like this. So this lever here does move. This spins, but doesn't do anything. But this actually moves around, so you can just pretend like you're typing. And then you have this. Looks like that's meant to come up, so you can just pretend like you're typing there, but with the flowers in the way, it makes it tough. But the flowers do add some nice color to this. I mean, look how bright that looks. There's your keyboard. This, I think, is meant to just do this, to make it look like you're typing there. Not as loud as a normal typewriter, but that's what it looks like inside. And this is meant to just come out like this. And you know, let's take a look inside there, because I know some of you are probably interested. Not a whole lot going on. And it just rests inside that little friction fork. Well, this just fits right in here. And yeah, it wasn't a too bad of a build. Did it keep my interest? Honestly, yes. I'm not going to lie there. The box, it looked kind of boring, but for myself personally, you know, it wasn't something I'm totally interested in, but the build's pretty good. And that's essentially what it is. We're going to start with play value, and this is meant to be a shelf queen. Could you play with it? I mean, you can pretend that you're typing, but this is just meant to be showcased on like a bookshelf or an end table. It's obviously not scaled for minifigures. And could you drop this in a city? Not so much, unless you have like a theme park where you have giant world, or you can have giant things, but I really don't see this being used in a Lego city. But it could be used for spare pieces. You can build the other two alternative models. You can add these pieces to your collection and make some other stuff, which would be really cool. Build quality seems pretty good. I didn't have anything fall off, so that's not too bad. Build experience, it did keep my interest, except for the stickers. These weren't too bad, but you know what? The fate of those are going to be when I'm done. But the one thing I'm kind of disappointed with, there's no brick separator with the set. For it being a 3-in-1, I thought maybe there would be one included. Just if you want to take the model apart to build the other ones, you're going to have to rustle up one yourself. If you already have several of those, that's fine, but this is your first set as an introductory build into Lego, you won't get that tool. So you have to find a set that actually has them. That's why I have it written in the description down there. Does it have a brick separator? Does it not? This set does not have one. But it does come with the 3 building guides, so at least you don't have to download those. They're right in the box. So almost this set would have had a perfect score, but I have to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Just because of the brick separator is missing for a creator set, so I have to wrestle one up. Yes, I have probably about 200 of those brick separators, but you know, I'm looking at this. If I bought this set, and this is my first set, or let's say I bought it and I want to build it at the office, I'd have to struggle without it. I didn't need it, but it would be nice if you had it. But all in all, though, it is a nice build if you're interested into the typewriter theme. If you're a writer, if you like to compose term papers, I know a lot of people don't. I didn't. Or if you're writing your dissertation for your dissertation defense, you know, there you go. You're going to need a typewriter. Do that. That'd be hard to write up a 200-page paper in a typewriter. It'd be very hard. But that's a whole story I talked about on my second channel. But honestly, though, for me personally, I just was not interested in the build at first. And I'm not going to lie, I enjoyed building this. This was fun. But I just, looking at it now, I'm just kind of thinking, okay, this is just going to be a dust collector. But I'm sure someone would enjoy it, especially if you're a writer or a composer. But tell me what you think of this set.